Moving on to the Spurs. Victor Wembanyama. Talk about turning around what was a pretty disappointing first NBA performance. I don't think people realize how insane it is to be in foul trouble, entirely out of rhythm, to be kind of playing like shit. And we'll talk about it in a minute because he was playing like shit through three quarters. But to have all that happening and then to come in the fourth quarter against Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, guns blazing with a smile on your face, hitting pull-up jump shots in people's face and damn near stealing the game. Like, I don't think people realize how insane that is. You understand the confidence that it takes to have things be going as poorly as they were going for three quarters and then to come out and be like, I'm about to steal this damn game. Like, it was unbelievable. And I think it comes down to the fact that he's been playing pro for years. It's a big thing that I think, as so many people were like, oh, Victor's going to struggle when he gets to the NBA. He's going to struggle when he gets to the NBA. It's like, dude, this dude's a pro already. This is not a dude who is playing in the Big Sky Conference or the Pac-12. This is a guy who legitimately was playing in his professional league's championship series last year. Playing against grown-ass men. Dealing with big, physical European bigs. That's what this guy's been dealing with. This is a super confident dude. He's played in huge games. He's had pressure on him forever. And so he's not uncomfortable in any situation, including a situation where he's not having a great game. And again, it was a really poor game through three quarters. Every time you see a player in foul trouble, it's easy to kind of like hyper-focus on the bad calls, right? Like even his first foul, he's kind of sliding over and help. I think it was Grant Williams who caught and was going towards the rim. It's like, I don't like that call. He's vertical, he's sliding, it's a physical game. That shouldn't have been a foul. But then there were some just straight up poor decisions on his part. That Josh Green transition drive in the first half where he's kind of driving underneath the basket along the baseline, and Victor just, instead of letting him go through, just decides to essentially trip him with a kind of a slide step towards the baseline. Like, that's just inexperience at the NBA level and just making a poor decision, right? That illegal screen in the third quarter. Jeremy Sochan's bringing the ball up the right wing, and he just like straight up like runs up to 25 feet and throws a block, right? And again, like even though Jeremy Sochan's a little bit helter-skelter as a ball handler and probably should have slowed down and waited for Victor to get set, at the same time, like when you're in foul trouble and Jeremy Sochan's running up, you better be damn sure that you're in position to set a screen before you hold your ground the way that he did, right? But it wasn't just the foul trouble. He also wasn't very good on defense in this game. Like, he was making poor help and recover decisions. He was leaving shooters that he shouldn't have left, and then he was kind of like staying home on shooters when he probably could have offered help at the rim. I didn't think he was playing a great game. I don't blame him for the offensive end of the floor. The Spurs ball handlers were all caught up in the kind of like the energy of the game, and a lot of guys were making bad decisions, particularly Keldon Johnson and Jeremy Sochan. Just way too much dribbling and decision-making from them and looking guys off and over-penetrating into the paint, turning the basketball over. Keldon Johnson in particular, the over-penetrating is an issue. And again, over-penetrating is a really simple concept. Pretend the camera is the rim protector. As soon as I have you engaged to the point where I know I don't have a good look at the rim, as soon as I have you engaged, meaning like you're watching me and you have left your man, make the pass. It's when you keep driving into the teeth of the defense that people can start putting their hands on you, and that's when you're going to start turning the ball over, because it's impossible to see everything that's happening in that scrum, and there's a lot of contact that happens on every single possession that goes uncalled. And when you drive into the teeth of the defense and over penetrate, even if you draw more help and get the defender closer to you, it's actually harder to make the proper kick out passes. And Keldon Johnson has got to kind of figure out that kind of sweet spot on his drives where he can identify the help is coming and make that read early so that he can actually be free with his arms to make that pass while still getting his teammate the opportunity to make the shot. But yeah, like, I don't want to blame Victor for his kind of unimpressive first three quarters offensively, because his teammates weren't doing him any favors. But for him to bounce back from all that and to come in that fourth quarter and hit a hesitation pull-up three, a jab step pull-up jump shot. He had a lob dunk and pick and roll. He had a nice finish through contact out of the dunker spot in transition. I thought it was an incredibly impressive fourth quarter from Victor Wembanyama. Last guy I wanted to shout out on the Spurs was Devin Vassell. He had 23 points on 17 shots in this game. His like fluidity in pull-up jump shot game, the lift that he gets, his energy transfer from feet through his release, it reminds me a lot of Devin Booker. And that's really, really exciting because this dude has turned into a pretty high-level shot maker. He's actually like a little taller and a little longer than Devin Booker as well. And I just think that he could theoretically be the perfect complementary ball handler with Victor Wembanyama. Because again, if you want to have a guy that can be a true vertical spacer and pick and roll, ideally you want to have a great pull-up shooter, which forces the screen defender to come up to the level of the screen, which opens up things in the short roll. It's what we've been talking about all summer or I shouldn't say all summer, but all preseason with Damian Lillard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. You need a legit pull-up jump shooter. I really like that fit there. To me, Keldon Johnson kind of feels like the odd man out right now. He's just a little too helter-skelter. And as much as I like Jeremy Sochan and he had some good defensive possessions on Luka Doncic in this game, I just don't understand why they're having him handle the ball as much as they have let him do so. But again, I think considering the circumstances for Victor in this game, I still think the Spurs are going to be pretty damn competitive this year because when he's on the floor, he can do a lot of things on both ends of the floor.